Let us start the today's session. So before going to the today's class, let us recap what we studied in the previous class. So in the previous class, we studied about two different statements. That is nothing but blocking statement and non-blocking statement. The blocking statement will execute sequentially, means the step by step it will execute. Preferably the blocking statement, it is recommended to use for combinational circuits. The non-blocking statements will execute concurrently. It won't execute step by step. It is recommended for sequential circuit designs. So those things we see how we can denote the blocking statement with the equal symbol. For non-blocking symbol, we'll use the less than equal to symbol. This is what we studied in the previous classes. We studied in this way. So the blocking statement will be denoted as equal to, non-blocking statement is denoted as less than equal to. Now next topic we'll study, that is timing control. Here the timing control, its constructs are available in Verilog. That is the various timing controls are available for Verilog. Now in Verilog, if there is no timing control statements, then the simulation time does not be in advanced. So in the sense, if you want to run your statement little bit advanced, you need to introduce a term delay or the time control statements we have to add. Now the timing control provides a way to specify a simulation time at which the procedural statements will execute, which will be called as procedural statement. The blocking and the non-blocking statement only will be called as procedural statement. So it will provide a way to specify a time specification in the blocking statement as well as in the non-blocking statement. So this is one of the very important question in the examination. So there are three methods of timing control. The first one is delay based timing control. Second is event based timing control. Third one is level sensitive timing control. Let us see each and everything individually. The first thing is delay based timing control. So here from the name only we can say the timing control we use based on the delay. So the delay based timing control in an expression specifies the time duration between when the statement is encountered and when it is executed. So normally it will be specified, the delays are specified by the symbol hash. This is the delay symbol we use. So what is the syntax for delay based timing control here? Example, say this is the statement delay 3, the left hand side statement equal to the hash specifies the delay. This is your delay value. Then you can add again, or again you can add like this also. These are the different ways we can specify. Same, delay 2 equal to hash delay value or hash delay value, then comma multiple delay values also you can specify. Then unsigned number also, or parameter identifier and parameter specification parameter identifier, then min type, max type expressions. So these are the things can be used in the syntax for delay based timing control. So here you can say the delay based timing control can be specified by like numbers, identifiers, or a minimum, the typical, the maximum expression. Now this delay based timing control has three different types of delay control for procedural assignments. What are those? The one is the regular delay control. The regular delay control, it's nothing but I can say it is a inter assignment delay. This is nothing but a inter assignment delay. Which one is the inter assignment delay? Regular delay. See, regular delay control. This is nothing but regular delay control. It's nothing but inter-assignment delay. Already which we discussed about this. Second thing is intra-assignment delay control. Third one is zero delay control. Now let us see individually with examples. First, regular delay control. How the regular delay control? The regular delay control is used when a non-zero delay is specified to the left of a procedural assignment. Means that is when you are going to use some statement. So that will be used for when a non-zero delay. Non-zero delay in the sense you are going to introduce some delay inside that. Example, you see, just first you define the parameter. Example, the parameter, the latency is 20. Then one more parameter, the delta value is 2. We done two parameter declaration. Now let us define the register variable. The registers are reg x, y, z, p, q. Now let us start the initial begin. Then first x is equal to 0. If I not specified here, see here I am not specified any delay here. So that indicates there is no delay control. It is zero delay. Correct? This indicates zero delay. Next, see #10. That is the delay we are specifying. That is a regular normal delay only. What we studied earlier. #10. That is at time 10. Y will be 1. That is a delay control with a number. See, delay control with a number. So the delay execution of Y will be is equal to 1 by 10 units. That is after 10 delay, the Y will be become 1. Next you see #latency. The #latency is equal to 0. You need to know what is the value. This is the expression is given as a latency, but already the delay controls with the identifier. See, this is the identifier actually. So it's a delay of 20 units. How it is 20 units? Because here we specified the parameter latency is 20. See, that identifier only here we are using. So automatically the Z will be is equal to 0. There is a delay of 20 units actually. It's a delay of 20 units in the sense, but when it is execution, when it takes the execution, so what will be there? It will take some other way, right? Next you can see the another one more method, #latency plus delta. See, this is the kind of with the expression. P is equal to 1. Then how much it is delay this? This delay here, this delay is 20, correct? This delay is 20. What about this delay now? This delay is latency plus delta. The latency is nothing but 20. Delta is 2. So totally it is 22 the delay. Then #y x is equal to x plus 1. Now we can control the delay with the identifier also just to take the value of y. What is the y here? You see here in this, what is the value of y here? Y is equal to 1. So automatically it will take that value also as 1 because of y. See this y. X equal to x plus 1 #y. So x will be is equal to x plus 1. So this is not any program, just to the example only, different examples here I am showing. Next you see, as we said, we can use minimum, typical and maximum delay value also. See here, this is 4 indicates minimum, 5 indicates typical delay, the 6 indicates maximum delay value, then Q is equal to 0. So how this execution, the execution of this procedural assignment is delayed by the number specified by delay control. Now let me say how it will delay. This will be in the 0 delay, then this will be in the after 10 units, this is after 30 units, then this will be after 52 units, this will be after 53 units. Then what about this? This will take the minimum value of that. Out of these 3, this is minimum, this is typical, this is Q is equal to 0. So now for begin and the groups, the delay is always relative to time when the statement is encountered. Thus y is equal to 1 is executed 10 units after its encounter in the activity flow. That is when the y will be is equal to 1. This is what this only I said, right? First, for the 0 delay, x will be is equal to 0 to be evaluated or it will be assigned. After 10 units of time, that is after 10 delay, the y will be variation to 1. This is what it take. So this is nothing but inter assignment delay. Next, intra assignment. So intra assignment, instead of specifying the delay control to left of the assignment, see here what we did in this, we used in the left hand side only, right? Now instead of that, we can use the right hand side. See, instead of specifying delay control to left of the assignment, it is possible to assign a delay to the right of the assignment operator. Such delay specification alters the flow of activity in a different manner. So here we written as like this, as 10 x is equal to 0 or y is equal to x plus 1. The example I'll say, okay. Then here I can say y is equal to as 10 x plus 1. See, like this. This is example. See this example. You define the register variable, register x, y, z. Now let us declare the intra assignment delay. So initial begin x equal to 0, z equal to 0. This is a 0 delay. This is 0 delay because if you cannot specify anything, then this will become as 0 delay. This is 0 delay. Now see, y is equal to hash 5. See this is what? Hash 5. This only is nothing but a intra assignment x plus z. How it will execute in the sense? It takes the value of x and z at time 0 actually. These two it will take at time 0. At time 0 to evaluate x plus z will be evaluated, and then it will wait for 5 time units. It will wait for 5 time units to assign value to the. But in the previous what will happen, it will be evaluated, then immediately assigned to y, but in the simulation it will produce after that delay only. But here it will wait for 5 time units, then only it will assign to value to y, then it will be simulation will get. So that is a difference. So the equivalent method with the temporary variable and the regular delay control. See the same example, the equivalent method how it has to be, right? Initial begin x0 z0 temp. Just we created here one temporary variable called as temp underscore xz is equal to x plus z. Now we are done after 5 delay y is equal to temp. What will happen? First this is in 0 delay, we initialized it. So even this also in 0 delay only. What happened? The temp underscore x plus z, this value will be evaluated. It will be assigned to temp underscore xz at time 0 itself. Then what happened? This temp value, because these all the statements are blocking statements, right? So this value will be updated over here. Then when you will get this y, the y will get after 5 screen time unit only. That is what the difference. So now we can say what is the difference between the regular and the intra assignment delay. Normally the regular delays will differ the execution of entire assignment. You see, the regular delays will differ the execution of the entire assignment. That is the intra assignment delay compute the right hand side expression at the current time and defer the assignment of the computer value to the left hand side variable. But intra assignment delays are like regular delays with temporary variable to store the current value of the right hand side expression. Which one? That previously which we specified. Like this intra assignment delays are like regular delay only, in the sense it will store the current value of the right hand side expression in a temporary register, then it will be assigned to the left hand side. Next is talking about third type of the delay control is zero delay control. So here this zero delay control in the procedural statements in different always initial blocks may be evaluated at the same simulation time. As you know, zero delay control and think about what? It is 0 time. The order of the execution of the statements in different, that is always initial block, is non-deterministic. So it is very, very difficult here. If you are executing the statements in zero delay control, then we can say it is the output is non-deterministic. So the zero delay control is a method to ensure that the statement is executed in the last after all of the statement simulation times are executed. So like this will be eliminated, used to eliminate the race condition. Example here you can see here the initial begin x equal to 0, y equal to 0, end. Next again initial begin, see, hash 0, hash 0. Even though if I am not specified here anything, then that will be considered as zero delay only. Then there is no point of to specify hash 0. If I am not specifying hash 0 also, it is by default it will take us zero delay control. So only we are saying it is, however, if we are using the hash 0, it is not recommended practice. For zero delay, no need to use. Next, the second timing control is event based timing control. So what is the event? Event in the sense like an event is the change in the value on a register. So like the change in the value on a register or a net. So events can be utilized to trigger execution of a statement or a block of statements. So now if any event occurs, then automatically in your program what will happen, some of the register values may change or the net values also may change. So at that time you can control the timings, that is during the event time. So now there are 4 different types of event based timing control here. So in the event based time control we are having 4 types. One is a regular event. Second is named event. Third is event or control. Fourth one is level sensitive timing control. Let us see one by one. Regular event control. So here the regular event control we will use at symbol is used to specify an event control. See here, the regular event control the sense specifier. At where we will use, you remember by simple, I can say in your behavior model, always at. You remember that. So that is something with the regular event at. When I use at symbol, that specifies the event control. So now the statements can be executed on changes in signal value or at a positive or a negative transition of the signal value. That is why I said, so when you studied always, we studied right in our behavior model, always at, if I say some expression, so whenever this expression changes, that is the meaning of this at. So then your statements will get executed. So that is why the explain statements can be executed on changes in signal value, or sometimes we may use positive or negative edge. So the transition of the signals also it will execute. Now we'll see the examples. First example is at clock Q is equal to D. Means it is something, but what is the problem? Like a simple, you think in this way only, right? Okay. Always you have to think in this only. See, this is always always so I can write this. So here it is always at clock Q is equal to D. This is nothing but simple. I can say whenever this clock is changes, the values get changes, then Q will be D will be assigned to Q. This is nothing but one simple example I'm showing. Next, same. Always at passage clock. Meaning is what? Whenever the positive edge of the clock occurs, then Q will be equal to D. That is the meaning of the Q is equal to D is executor whenever the signal clock does a positive transition. That is meaning is what? Positive. Either 0 to 1, that is X or Z, it is 0 to 1 or 0 to X or 0 to Z. Because you remember we done something transition like this, right? This is 0. This is 1. But 0 to 1 or 0 to X or 0 to Z. So X to 1, Z to 1 also. Even here also I can say like here X to 1 or Z to 1 also. So we seen some 3 different types of like the timing. Which one? Transitions, rise, fall, typical. So now you can see another one is always at a negative edge, that is neg edge. This is the keyword. Neg edge is a keyword, passage a keyword, clock Q is equal to. This is something but it will execute during the transition. Which transition? The negative edge transition. That is nothing but negative edge means what? This is the negative edge. 1 to 0. Right? This is the negative edge. This is the positive edge transition. Next, Q is equal to at passage. See, there is a different statement. This Q is equal to at of passage clock, then D. What does it mean here? That D is evaluated, which this D is evaluated immediately and it is assigned to Q. The D is assigned to Q. Which one? This D is assigned to Q at the positive edge of the clock. At the positive edge of the clock. This is the meaning of the set. D is evaluated immediately and is assigned to Q at positive edge of the clock. But here and all what will happen? It will evaluate during the edge only. See these 3 statements, these 2 statements, the Q will be evaluated only during the edge of the clock. But here is not like that. Next, second one is named event control. So here named event in the sense, the Verilog will provides the capability to declare an event and then trigger and recognize the occurrence of that event. So now you can see here the event does not hold any data, but a named event is declared by the keyword called as event. See, for named event we use the keyword called as event we'll use. So an event is triggered by this symbol. Which symbol? This is the symbol. See here. The symbol is like this, one hyphen, then one arrow mark like this. This is the named event or triggered by the event is. Next, the triggering of the event is recognized by the symbol at. So now here we are showing the example here. This is the example here we are showing the data buffer storing data after last packet of data. There is an example of data storing after the last packet of data is arrived. So in the sense buffer, what is the buffer here? See, this is the buffer we am having. Example, see, this is the buffer. So I need to store the data over here. Okay. So now what happened when you're storing the data after the last packet, when the last packet is of data has arrived, then it will indicate yes, its buffer is filled. So how it has to be done? Because it doesn't know what is the size of the buffer. So let us take the example here. First you need to define an event called as received data. See, event is a keyword. It is a keyword followed by received underscore data. Next, always at positive edge. So it will check for every positive edge of if last underscore data underscore packet. What is the meaning of that? If last underscore data underscore packet is equal to 1. That is the meaning of that. If that becomes 1, that is the last data packet is equal to 1, then see here, what is this symbol? This will trigger the event, so like it say, it's received the data. Simple will say. So it immediately triggers, yes, it has received the data. Then be end. So in this way only you have to use the named event. See here we are saying then end. Now see, always at received underscore data. See here, this received data, when I get this received data, if last underscore data is equal to 1, then it will trigger the event like event receive data. Then immediately always set receive data means what? Whenever this receive data values get changes, correct? Whenever it gets changes, automatically what will happen? It will execute this. How it will execute? It will wait for the triggering of the event received data. When event is triggered, store all 4 packets. As soon as the is triggered, so you have to store all 4 packets of received data in a data buffer using concatenation operator. You can see this data buffer is a buffer. This is the buffer. Okay, this is the data underscore buffer. This is 0. This is 1. This is 2, or this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So now what you need to do? We have to store the value over there. So use a concatenation operator, data underscore packet of 0, data underscore packet of 1, data packet 2, 3. Then all these will be concatenated. This will be stored in a data buffer. So this is what we can say named event. Next is event or control. So now sometimes a transition on any one of the multiple signals. If you are having many number of signals, like say example more variables if you are having or signals or events can be triggered the execution of the statement or a block of statement. So for that what you need to do, you have to use the expression as or. This is the keyword. See the or, it's a keyword of event or a signals. Now see example. So the list of events are the signal expressed as an or is also known as sensitivity list. So you can think universe sensitivity list. Okay, if you are writing a program for combination circuit in a behavioral model, then what you do? You will write like this always at, you may write like this A R B R C, then begin Y is equal to A XR B XR C in. See example is saying any one, this is a sum actually, right? It is yes, it can say yes. See now either A or B or C, any one signal's values get changes, this statement will get executed. That is the meaning of that. Or I can say it can be used in a asynchronous actually. See here a level sensitivity latch with the asynchronous reset. See here always at reset or clock or D means what? So either reset or clock or D, any one values get changes, the statement will get executed. Which statement? This statement will get executed. This is the program here we are showing. It's a level sensitive latch with the asynchronous reset. Which latch? It is a D latch actually. This example which you are showing is a D latch. Which D latch? It is a asynchronous reset latch. Okay, so now what we'll do, we wait for the reset or clock or D to change. Begin if reset is equal to 1, means that is the meaning of that, right? If reset is high, then Q is equal to 0. If reset is high, then what will happen? If the reset is 0, then come for the else if condition, then check for clock whether the clock is 1. If the clock is equal to 1, then latch the input, that is Q is equal to D. This is the simple program for latch, D latch, that is for asynchronous actually. If it is a synchronous, then what will happen? No need to write here. Only we'll have like a synchronous means even for synchronous also latch, we can write as reset or clock or D. Even you can write for that also. The sensitivity list can also be specified using comma operator instead of or. In the sense here, see always at A or B or C are written. Instead of that, even you can write A comma B comma C. Even here also reset comma clock comma D. Even both are similar. The comma operators can be also be applied to sensitivity list that have edge sensitive triggers. Now let us see some of the examples. Sensitivity list with the comma operator. See always at reset comma clock comma D begin if reset Q is equal to 0, else if clock Q is equal to C. That is what I said. So the difference is what here? There is no R here. Next, second, a positive edge triggered D flip-flop with asynchronous falling reset can be modeled. See example, This is also a D flip-flop. But you see here, always at passage clock, you see, comma, negate, reset. Means what? This is nothing but it's asynchronous actually, because your reset is not depend on the clock actually. So whenever you are getting positive edge of the clock or negative edge of the reset, then this statement will get executed. So now you can see, note the use of comma operator used if not reset, because it represents the active low reset. So what will happen? Q will be 0. Else the reset is high in the sense what? Because here we specified neg edge reset. That is the reason here we specified not. That is active low reset. Else Q is D. This is what we can follow. Now sometimes you may think if your number of input variables are more. Say example, if it is 3 input, 4 input, it is fine. But in the combination circuits, if we are having around 32 inputs or 64 inputs at the time, when you are writing a program in behavior model, you may think A, B, C, D should to write all the values, that is all the variables. It is a little bit tedious task. So instead of that, what we can do, the Verilog has a one special operator that is nothing but at star. So now when I am using the combination logic block using the OR operator, say example, this is the combinational example, simple example. See how many inputs are there? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, P, M. These all are inputs. So now if you are writing it, as you know, in the behavior modeling, when you are writing the program for combination circuit, in the sensitivity list, you must specify all the input variables. So here, instead of like this, A, B, C, also you can write, but it is little bit difficult task to write. So now what we can do, instead of writing that, see here, I can specify like this. At, within the bracket, put one simple star that indicates any of the input variable changes, this statement will get executed. So here what they used, begin out, this is the conditional operator, right? Out1 is equal to A question mark. What is the meaning of that? When if it is true, which one? If it is true, A is true, then B plus C will be your out1. If A is false, then D plus E is out. In the out2, if F is true, G plus H is output. If F is false, then P plus M is your output. Now you can see, instead of using this many variable like this, we can use single at star only we can use. Even both will work as same only. Next, third timing control is level sensitive timing control. So now you can see the level sensitive timing control is event control. It is waited for the change of the signal value or the triggering of an event. That is the symbol at we use, right? The level sensitive in the sense what we use at provided edge sensitivity control. The Verilog also will allows the level sensitive timing control, that is the ability to wait for a certain condition to be true before statement or block of statement is executed. So now the keyword wait, see here the levels in the keyword wait is used for level sensitive construct. So now here which is a keyword, it's a wait is a keyword. So now example, always just here you see I'm not using, there is a two ways are there. If you are writing a program like always at you should do something, then something you will write, it will get executed. If I'm not using at, then you must use this type of statements. For example, wait, see. So this is the keyword we are using, always, after the always wait, then bracket count underscore enable as 20, count is equal to count plus 1. What will happen in the above the example, the value of count underscore enable is monitored continuously. Which one? This one. The count underscore enable is monitored continuously. If count underscore enable is equal to 0, the statement is not entered. If it is logical one, which one? This. If this logical one, the statement count is equal to count plus 1 is executed. Then how it is executed? After 20 time units. So it will wait. So if the count underscore enable stays at 1 only, means the bracket, see here I specified. If I put a an exclamatory mark, that will become 0. So if count underscore enable state as 1, the count will be incremented every 20 time units. How it will be incremented in the sense? Because of this always statement. See, this can be used in a test bench normally. See, in a test bench, we can use like this. So always you have to wait for count enable. That is the meaning. Wait for count underscore enable. So you need to wait the counter should start to count. That is the meaning of that. Now you can see in the conditional statement. The conditional statements are used for making decision based upon certain conditions. Like this, all the things we studied. The keywords if else, if. This already we studied if statements and all. I don't want to express once again the if statements here. So because if statement, it will like each and every time you need to write if statement, then begin and end you need to write. Then if else. So if the condition is true, then this will be executed. If the condition is false, this will be executed. This is a nested if statement. So here examples already we've seen these examples also. So I don't want to see this example here we have shown like if statement. See, if not lock, then buffer will be is equal to data. If enable out is equal to, this is simple examples. Then if else, if I use if number underscore q is less than max q depth, then begin. So what happens if this is condition is true, then this statement will be executed. So as you know already, as I said, in the Verilog and C programming, the begin is nothing but open brace, the end is nothing but the close brace. See else, see here begin and else dollar display. This is examples within double quote Q full, then try again. See here, this is like this. Then if else statement. So this is the if else statement here. We are using the if ALE control is equal to 0, perform addition. Else if ALE control is equal to 1, perform subtraction. Then else if ALE control is equal to 2, then perform the multiplication. So else, that means ALE control is equal to 3. If I get, then automatically it will say invalid ALE control signal because of false statement. So now this is nothing but a conditional statement. What about the multi-way branching? Multi-way branching in the sense here we are having like the nested if else if can become unwieldy if there are too many alternatives. So it's a shortcut to achieve the same result. Use case statement. See here, the very important here the case. The keywords are case, end case, and the defaults are used in the case statement. Already we've seen even the case statement. Totally the case statements are classified into 3 different types. The first one is case, second one is case X, third one is case Z. So this case statement normally we studied already. So like we took the examples of multiplexers, then encoders, decoders, binary to gray code converter, all those things. This case X, even this case X also is a keyword only that will ignore the X values. Then case Z will ignore the Z values. Especially this will be used in these two will be used in a priority encoder, because as you know the priority encoder, priority encoder, because the priority encoder, your truth table, if you see the truth table, you will have the X, right? So it will be very easy to write this. See here, this is the simple one of the example for case statement executing the ALE control signal. See, this is the ALE program. What is the ALE program here? It is very simple. Here, this is ALE in the sense. See, this is ALU. Here we are having the inputs X, Y, Z. See, this is X, this is Y, this is Z. Sorry, X, Y, X, Z is the input. X, Z is the input. Then Y is the output. Then this is the control, ALE control. See, now what I need to know, I want to perform some 4 operation. If you want to perform 4 operation, you can say x and y, it can be any value. Example, okay, ALE control, it's nothing but here how many bit it is, x and z. X and z is how many bit? 3:0 means it is 4 bit. As you know, in your microcontroller you might have studied this, right? This is 4 bit. So both are 4 bit. I need to perform 4 operations. So how can I perform? The ALE control will choose which operation you need to perform. So I need here 2-bit ALE control. So 2-bit ALE control in the sense what will happen when ALE control is 0, perform one operation. When 0, 1, perform the another operation. When 1, 0, you perform the another operation. Then 1, 1, then perform one more operation. Because as you know, ALU is nothing but arithmetic logic unit. It can able to perform arithmetic and logical operations. Now you see here the input 4 bit, the output also is 4 bit, even this also is 4 bit only. Then ALE control 2 bit, the register is Y bit, always at star. You see this, always at star. Again, we are using the case statement, ALU underscore control. This only will control your ALU. First, the ALU control is 0, means you need to perform the addition operation, that is x plus z. When ALE control is 1, that is 1, 0, 0, 1, then you need to perform a subtraction. But when you are going for D2, that is 1, 0, then you need to perform a multiplication. But you have to think in one way, this is 4 bit, this is 4 bit. What about y? We may get 4 bit, sometimes we may get 5 bit also. Because if there is a carry overflow, 5 bit also you may get. But you think one thing, you are performing the multiplication. When you are doing a multiplication, how many bits will you get? When A is x is 4 bit, Z is 4 bit, then what is that the product size? Normally, the product of multipliers, the product size will be, product is 2n. Normally, the product is 2n, where n is equal to 4, right? So the product will be 8. You can try the binary multiplication with the 4-bit numbers, will get 8. But here only it's 4. So in the sense, so which one it will consider actually? It will be considered only 3:0. In the sense, this least only you will get the output. The maximum 4 will be truncated in this. Now, when ALE control is 1, 1, then it will display it's an invalid ALE control signal. Even if you want to include any other operation, even you can add here. So, this is the one of the experiment we are having in our lab. I will tell. So, they given some question. So, based on that, we need to write the Verilog code. You can see here the case statement can also act like a many to one multiplexer. See, very important, right? It's like case will act as like many to one multi. What is the multiplexer will do? Like this only, right? So many inputs, selection lines will be there, so it will perform. So that is what your case. So now the examples, this already we seen 4-to-1 multiplexer. See, 4-to-1 multiplexers using the always statement. So this we are using the case statements. See here, if you are using case, you remember the input S1, S0 is scalar we given, even I0, I1, I2, I3 scalar. Okay, everything we used scalar, multiplexer, right? See, I0, I1, I2, I3, this is your output, this is your S1, S0. Now you can see everything is scalar type only. But if you are having a scalar type, how can I use in a case? In a case, see here, how I use K, see, open the bracket, we use the concatenation operator. See here, S1, S0. Even though you give the scalar value S1, S0, but when it comes to the case, we used this concatenation operator. So based on that, what will happen? We'll take 2-D0, out is I0, means S1 is 0, S0 is 0. That is the meaning. So 0, 0. Next, S1 is 0, S0 is 1. That is 2-D1 is I1 will be selected. Then 10 means I2 will be selected. 11 means I3 will be selected. Then default value is nothing but invalid control signal. Unit display. That is, this also we know. That system task function already we discussed. You need to specify end case. Even this also we specified already. Same the way 1 to 4 demultiplexer also is there. See here the 1 to 4 demultiplexer, as you know. So this is your 1 to 4 demultiplexer diagram. 1 is the input, then 4 is the output. Selection line is this. Yes, this is the selection line. So I can say 1, 2, 4. Now here you can see in this also output, out 0, out 1, out 2, out 3, 4 outs. In 1, that is in, this is your in, right? This is the in, this is out. This is your selection line, 2 selection line, that is S. Now you can see all are in scalar, always at S1 or S0, or you can write in this place what? Even you can write as always at, open the bracket, you put the star, then close. Even you can write like this also. See here, case, same, S1, S0 within the concatenation. Even what you can do, instead of doing scalar, you can write in a vector also. If you write in a vector, you know that specific vector also you can write. It is left to you. It is not mandatory you have to write like this only. Then 0, 0, begin. Because why you used to begin and means all the things are in scalar values, all the outputs you need to specify. So out 0 will be, that is what? Out 0 is this, right? This is out 0. This is out 1. This is out 2. This is out 3. When selection line 0, 0, in will be get in this channel. So out 0 will be in. The other things will be Z. So what will be your truth table? How the truth table will be there? I think I can say 0, 0. Then I will get as what? Input. Say example, you have to assume input is equal to 1. Assume input is equal to 1. So 1 is Z, is Z, is Z. It is like this. Even you can consider even X also you can write. It's not mandatory you have to write. Even you can write 1 dash B X. Even like that also you can write. Next you can see this 0, 1. Out 1 will be selected. Rest of things is Z. 1, 0. Out 2 is 1, 1. Out 3. Rest of things. See, like this also you can write. But you can see here the account for unknown signals on the select. Say example, if any select signal is X, then the outputs are X. Means here the selection lines are 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1 selection line. But say example, some any one like this selection line, if it is X0, your selection line, or 0X or XX, if I, what will be your output? That is for that also here we written. If any, that is if any select signal is X, then outputs are X. If any select signal is Z, then outputs are Z. See here. If one is X and the other is Z, then X gets a higher priority. Totally 3 things are there. If it is X is selection line, then output is X. If Z is a selection line, any signal is at Z, output also Z. But if one is X, in the sense what? In the sense I can say XX or Z. If it is one is X, one is Z, if I get, then what will happen? The X will be your highest priority. See here, 2 dash B0, X0, 2 dash B X1, 2 dash B XZ, 2 dash B XX, B0X, 1X, ZX. See, these all are the possibilities of your selection line. Means X0, X1, XZ, XX, 0X, 1X, ZX. These are the possibilities apart from 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Selection line. This is a selection line. This is because the Verilog will support all the 4 values. So these 4 values means we'll get the output properly. But if the selection line is this value, any of the value, then what is the output? That is things here we written. See, if any of this occurs, then out 0 is X, out 1 is X, out 2 X, out 3 also is X. Because here we are having see X. Same like this, we need to specify in this way one by one. Then finally, the default will $display unspecified control signals. So here you have to be very careful in this. If the multiplex shown above, the multiple input signal combinations such as these are things that cause the same block to be executed or put together the comma symbol. Because here I shown only for x, even I can write for as like even like this also z0, z1. See this under not, this is for 1, right? Another set of variables. So like this you have to write. This is even you can write in a vector type straight away. You can write, if you write in a vector all the 4. So example how you can write in the sense, see, if you write in the instead of writing like this, if you have declared it is a vector, out is a vector, then out is equal to for this for 1 1, the sense 2 dash b 1 1, then I will get out is equal to, I will get as z, that is what, sorry, 4 dash b, okay, 4 dash b z, then in, this in is a variable. So you may think what is the value, maybe in is equal to 1. You can add here statement, here one statement you can add if you want. What statement we had? If in is, if in, you can add like this, always begin, you can specify after the always begin. If in means in is equal to 1, then you can write, then what I'll get, z1 I'll get. Else that will be what, z all or x, it is left to you. You have to frame the truth table first, then you have to write. This is about case statement. Then I will show the case x and the case z. See now the case x, see 4 dash b 1 x x, the next 4 dash b x 1 x x, next state is 2. 4 dash b x x 1 x, next state is 1. 4 dash b x x x 1, next state is 0. The default, the next state will be 0. Now we can say here in this the logic value x represents a don't care bit. So now you remember your priority encoder. What the priority encoder like will be there? I hope you remember 1 x x x will get the output as 1 1. Next 0 1 x x will get us 1 0. Then 0 0 1 x will get us 0 1. Then 0 0 0 1 0. 0. This is the priority encoder, that is 4 to 2 priority encoder truth table. Now what will happen here? Straight away I can write here 4 dash b 1 x x, the output is 1 1. Then 4 dash b 0 1 x x, then output is 2. So directly this will execute. If you not specify this case x, if you write these values over the xx, then it won't support. If you want to support this xx and all, you need to specify case x. Same the way x can be replaced by z. See, that is for high impedance. See, case z. Same thing only, case z, case x in the place of it. So logic z represents the don't care bit. Even here also is a high impedance. So you can write like this. So we will recommend you. I'll recommend you to write your priority encoder in your lab experiment like 4 to 2 or 8 to using case statement if they ask. But if you use writing if statement, then it is easy. So straight away I can say that is if this bit is 1, then output is 1 1 I can say. If this bit is 1, then it is 1 0 using if statement. But in the case statement I can't do like that. So what you need to do? You must use either case x or case z. So this is all about the multi-branching statements.